Hi everyone, welcome to the Android Test Station presentation. Today we'll be sharing with you the changes and improvements we have brought to you in 2020. Along with me, we have ATS engineers and tech lead. So Moon, William, Dee, and Daniel will co-present this presentation. For those who are new to the Android Test Station, I want to give you a brief and quick introduction about the tool. This is a standalone test automation tool which can execute the Android platform test suites. These are the ones you may be well familiar with, such as CTS, GTS, VTS, and STS. And certainly there are many more of the other test suites that can be run on the Android Test Station. This is also a tool we hope to simplify the overall testing experience during the development and the build approval process. A couple main key features we want to tell you about. The very first, this tool would optimize your test suite workflow by automating the steps in between, such as the download of the test binary, the device setup, the retries on the test execution. Internally, when we take this tool to the Pixel team, we found that it has generated about 25% time saving when it comes to the test execution. The tool also should offer you a friendlier UI to lower your tester training time and cost. Next, I want to tell you more about the highlights of ATS. Along with the two main features we just talked about, there are additional highlights we want to share with you. First, Android Test Station has an easy setup and it has the ability to automate the test execution in the process. It also has the ability to execute different test suites on the same host. Today, with the Android Test Station, you can also schedule the test runs at a time specific. With the test station, we have actually shared with you internally, it saves roughly about 25%. Amongst the other partners, we also seen roughly about 30% or even more sometimes when comparing to manual testing. Its ability to run multiple or different kinds of test suites on the test station has greatly improved the overall testing experience. But at the same time, on a monthly basis, we'll continue to bring you the improvements and updates of the Android Test Station. Next, I want to tell you about the product updates we had in the first half of 2020. There are 4 key product updates we want to share with you. First, it's the support for the GTS service account. With the use of the GTS service account, Android Test Station has the ability to automatically download the test packages and data from the Google services. Second, it has the ability to manually retry for different test suites. With the Android Test Station result, now can be retried from the command line without any additional modification. So this can actually transition your testing from the Android Test Station to the command line-based workflow much smoother. The third is the parallel device action. Device action can now be executed in parallel to save time when you set up multiple devices for the test suite's runs. The last product update will be the cuttlefish support. Today, the Android Test Station has the ability to execute tests on the virtual device, such as the cuttlefish. We have a lot of more information, and all of this information is available on source.android.com. Next, I want to tell you more about the upcoming features. Throughout the months of development, we have heard from many of you. Today, we summarized roughly about 150 partner bucks for features and improvements. In fact, we have many more in the pipeline. On top of that, we also did a survey with about 15 partners. We received 17 responses and have voted for the high priority 6 features, which we believe they should be high impact and most important to you. But here I want to share with you the top 4 features for the upcoming half of this year. And here they are. First is to rerun the configs. Second, test result analysis, AOA Device Actions. And the last feature will be the lab mode. Next, I'll pass to William to tell you more about the rerun configs.
Hi, my name is William, and I'll be presenting the rerun configs. One of our goals with Android Test Station is to lower the end-to-end execution time for Android test suites. In order to accomplish this goal, we decided to look at some of the test runs that were submitted to APA. From that data, we noticed that getting all CTS tests to pass always required multiple runs, and certain configuration values were changed in between these runs. With the current ATS user interface, users must wait for the first run to complete before they can schedule a rerun with a different configuration. This workflow results in some idle time in between when the first run completes and the next retry is scheduled. One scenario where users change configs in between retries is PAB retry, where a user does a retry of CTS using the latest dev build from partner Android build in order to resolve any failures that are caused by an issue with the test itself. Another scenario is using a different number or set of devices for the reruns. For example, if there are only a few test cases left, then users can retry using just a single device to free up the other devices. We also see some scenarios where users will run a test on one device and if it fails, rerun on a different device. A third scenario is changing the device actions in between retries. Since flashing is only needed for the first run, users can instead use reboot or factory reset for retries to save some time. To handle those scenarios and minimize the idle time in between reruns, we are planning on adding a new feature called Rerun Configs. This feature will be added to the new test run page and will allow users to schedule multiple reruns with different configurations in a single page. For example, in the screenshot shown here, the second run uses a different run target and number of max retries. Once the first run is completed, the second run will automatically be scheduled as a retry of the first run. In addition to scheduling reruns together, we also plan on updating the test results and test run details pages to group reruns of tests together so users can more easily find the results they need. The screenshot here shows an example of what this can look like, having each rerun shown as lists under the original run. And now I will pass it off to Dee to talk about test result analysis.
Hi, my name is Dee. I'll be presenting test result analysis. The goal for this project is to build a test result UI visualization view to allow testers triage issues quicker and simpler on ATS. The reason for us having this work is because there are some pain points that we need to solve. First, current UI does not show detailed information for modules and test cases. In addition to this, there are no filters or history information that a tester can use to expedite the process on triaging issues. And because of that, testers heavily relied on using output files such as test result XML, which is large and less accessible. So with the new test result analysis view, we're going to provide solutions to all of those pain points. We will provide detailed test module information. We will also provide detailed test case information, including stack traces and failure messages. In addition to this, a strong filter functionality and a history view will also be provided to help testers find and triage issues faster and simpler. That's all from me. I will pass off to the next presenter, Daniel, to talk about AOA Device Actions.
All right. Android Test Station now supports AOA Device Actions, which can be used to automatically enable USB debugging on user-built devices. As shown in the image on the right, these AOA device actions can perform the initial device setup by sending a series of commands using the Android Open Accessory Protocol, which supports all recent Android versions and does not require ADB. These AOA commands consist of simple user interactions such as clicking or swiping on the touchscreen, pressing device buttons such as the back, home, and power buttons, or pressing keyboard keys to write text or use keyboard navigation. To generate and manage this list of AOA actions, Android Test Station includes a built-in command editor. As shown in the image on the right, this lets you easily add, edit, rearrange, or delete commands, and lets you execute these commands on a local device to verify the functionality. Now I'll pass it on to Moon, who will present the Lab Mode feature.
Hi, I'm Moon, and I'm going to actually talk about Lab Mode today. Lab Mode is sometimes we internally call as Android Test Station Lab, is a solution for multi-host lab. If you were to actually scale your testing beyond a single host and want to actually scale it to run tests across like 100 devices, this is a solution for you. The Lab Mode enables teams to run mid-size Android testing lab by clustering multiple Android test station servers. In the Lab Mode, once deployed, your team can actually schedule tests across multiple devices connected to multiple hosts. Not only that, it will come with additional features such as like device management UI and also a deployment tool to mass deploy and update test station servers with a single command. We are planning to start an external pilot in next year, H1, and we are very interested in hearing from you on that. Now I'm handing it over back to Ross to talk about common workflows.
Thank you, Moon. Now, you have heard a lot about the updates and the upcoming features that will be brought to you by Android Test Station. Here, we want to show you some workflows and some trainings that would help you to start using the tool. First, we want to show you how to install the ATS.
Hi, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to download Android Test Station and set it up properly. First, navigate to source.android.com. Click on Design, Test, and under Android Test Station you can find the user guide. We have provided a simple download command. Just copy and paste the command in your terminal you have downloaded ATS. You can check via MTT version to see what version of ATS that you just installed. And here we have installed release 9. Now you can start ATS by simply typing MTT start. By default, it starts with the prod version. If you have an older version, you can try force update option. If you are in a proxy environment, ATS will read in your environment variables such as HTTP proxy, HTTPS proxy, and no proxy. So as long as you set these environment variables correctly, your ATS will function correctly. If you are using a SSL proxy with a custom CA, you can use extra CA cert option and pass in the appropriate parameters. To see what argument you can pass along with MTT start, you can type MTT start-h and you can find specific command usages. Now we start ATS. We can view the interface on localhost 8000. The first thing we see is Setup Wizard that guides you through the setup process. Hit Get Started. First, you will be asked if you have a config file backed up from another ATS instance. If you don't, hit Next. Next, it will ask you if you have a service account whitelisted by Google so that you can access Android partner config sets. If you do, hit Upload here. Here, we strongly suggest you use your GTS service account. After uploading, you can select which ones you want to import. Hit Import and you are good to go. Last, you will be asked to provide Wi-Fi information to allow the CTS device setup action to connect your devices to Wi-Fi. If you make mistake in any of the above steps, you can always change in Setting tab. And if you want to set up another ATS instance, you can export all the settings you configured via Export button on top, or import a configuration to set up this ATS instance. And under config sets, you'll be able to see which configs that you have just imported. And that's how you can install ATS and set it up easily.
Second, we want to show you how to prepare the test devices.
Android Test Station can automatically prepare your devices for testing using device actions. Test Station comes with a few pre-configured device actions, including the reboot action, which will restart devices, the factory reset action, which will wipe all device data, and the CTS device setup action, which will connect the devices to Wi-Fi and configure them for running CTS. To use a device action, schedule a test run and select the action in the Add Action step. The selected action will be executed before the test run and before each retry. You can also select multiple device actions and they will be executed in the specified order. Additionally, if multiple devices are used, they will be prepared in parallel. To test a device action, you can schedule a no-op test run. This is a special test which prepares devices but does not execute any test cases. Simply select devices to test on and select the device actions you wish to test and start the test run. Device actions can also be used to flash a device, and you can create your own actions for this purpose. The simplest way is to use a run host command target preparer, which executes a list of Linux commands. As shown here, the commands can reference the device serial number as well as the test resources, which are copied into the working directory and renamed, making it easy to refer to them by name. For more complex cases, a script file can be executed with the run host script target preparer. In the examples shown here, a file named script.sh will be copied into the working directory and executed. This can be useful if the flashing script is very large or complex, or if it uses features such as pipes, local variables, or helper functions. Once again, the device serial number and the test resources can be referenced inside the script. After flashing, you may need to enable USB debugging. TestStation can also automate this step using device actions with the Android Open Accessory Protocol, or AOA. To begin, create a device action with an AOA target preparer, which will execute a list of AOA commands. To generate this list of commands, open the Web AOA command editing tool, which is included in TestStation. Select a local device to run commands on, and record the steps needed to enable USB debugging after flashing. When finished, export the list of commands by copy-pasting them into TestStation and saving your device action. Using your new custom device actions, you can now schedule a test run that both flashes a user build and enables USB debugging.
Third, we want to show you how to run CTS on Android TestStation.
Let's try running CTS with Android TestStation. All supported CTS configs are bundled with the tool itself, and you can find them from Test Suites page right after the installation. I'm going to run CTS 10 today. Starting a CTS run is super easy. You just need to find a CTS version you want to run and click Run Test button. This will lead you to a step-by-step UI where you can customize test run parameters. In the first step, you can check and customize a CTS command line. The default is for running a full plan, but you can customize it as you want. This corresponds to plan name and options you use with run command in CTS console. Let's modify it to run permission test case module. You can also adjust the maximum retry number by expanding advanced settings. You can also set the labels for your run so that it can easy to find later on. This time I'm running a test on Pixel 2 XL, so I'm gonna label it with the model name. In the second step, you can choose a device to run the test suite on. You can choose one or more devices for sharding, and you don't need to worry about the sharding options since ATS will automatically set it for you. In the third step, you can choose device actions to execute before the first run and subsequent retries. For CTS, we recommend adding reboot and CTS device setup actions. These actions help minimizing interference between retries. In the last step, you can customize where to download your CTS package from. The default value is set to download the latest release version from Google server. You can override it to a CTS package pre-downloaded to your machine if you want. Once everything is set, click Start Test Run to start. Once the test run is started, you will see a test run detail page where you can check the status of new test run. Once a test run is in running state, you can also see the live logs from this page. You can always leave this page and come back later. If you have more devices, you can also run multiple test runs in parallel. All current and previous test runs will be shown in the test runs page, and you can access each test run's detail page by clicking the View button. Once test run is completed, you can check the result summary from Test Results tab and browse test result files by clicking on View Output Files button. So in this case, we can clearly see some test cases have failed even after all retries. Let's rerun them to make sure these are real failures. To schedule a rerun, click on a Rerun button. This will lead you to the same step-by-step UI you used to schedule the first run. The only difference is the previous test run field is pre-populated with the ID of the first test run. If you want to add additional retry option, such as -- module or -- exclude filter, you can customize the retry command. You can always adjusting your max retry count at this point. In the second step, you can either keep the current device or choose a different device. Make sure to select the device with the same build fingerprint as the first test run. This is same for the device actions. You can modify if you want. For test resources, I want to use the latest dev version of CTS I downloaded from partner Android build to make sure my failures are not related to a test suite bugs. So in this case, I want to override the download URL of Android-CTS zip. To use a local file, click Local File tab and upload the file to Test Station. Since I already uploaded the dev version of Android-CTS zip here, I will just use it. Now everything is set. Click Start Test Run. Once the rerun is completed, you can check its result in the same way. At this point, you may want to export the result for two reasons. First, to retry on a device connected to another workstation, or two, to upload the result to APA for build approval. In either cases, you can click on Export Result button to download the result zip. In some cases, you may want to rerun a CTS result from a manual execution or from another test station server. To do that, simply schedule a new test run with the test result zip file. You can do this by selecting Remote option on the previous test run type and upload the test result zip file. The rest of the configuration is same as the normal test runs.
Here, we want to show you how to run GTS on the Android Test Station.
If you are a GMS partner that wants to run GTS and have not imported the GTS test configuration yet, you will need to add it by clicking Import More Test Suites, which will take you to the Config Sets tab in the Settings page. Click the Import button. If you have not yet authorized the required build channel shown, click Upload Service Account Key and select your GMS Service Account Key, which should be the same JSON file you use as the API key when running GTS. After the build channel has been authenticated, you should see a list of all config sets available to you. Select the GMS Test Suite's configuration and click Import Selected. After the configuration has been imported, you should be able to see GTS in the Test Suites page. Running GTS requires you to provide an API key JSON file. To select a file to use each time you run GTS, edit the GTS 7.0 config. Under the Test Resource Depth section, in the API key row, click Browse and select your GMS Service Account key file. Then, click Update to save the change. You may also want to do this for the GTS 7.0 with media files config. To run GTS, click Run Test. Add any command line arguments to command field and select the devices you want to use. If you set the API key field in the previous step, it should already be filled out here. If not, click Browse and select the file. Then click Start Test Run. GTS requires downloading large media files over Wi-Fi to the test devices. Alternatively, you can use Android Test Station to download the files to your host machine once and copy it to each device from the host, which is typically much faster. To do so, click Run Tests for GTS 7.0 with media files. The command is already pre-filled with the arguments needed to skip the Wi-Fi download steps for each file. In the Add Action step, add the GTS media file copy device action. This will copy the files downloaded from ATS to each device. The download URLs for each of these media files should already be filled in. Finally, click Start Test Run. Viewing is the same as for other test suites. Click the View Outputs File button to see the files generated by the test run, or click the Export Results button to download these files as a zip file.
So you have seen all the changes and the upcoming improvements that we plan to bring to you, along with the trainings in this session. So as a wrap up, let's look at some of the key takeaways. ATS is the tool that does run your testing needs. It should actually be here to providing you a simpler testing workflow and then testing execution. So we have more information on the source.android.com. Please do follow the instruction to update to the newest version. For partners who are in China, please do visit source.android.google.cn for better reliability and access. We do ask you to continue to give us your feedbacks. With your feedbacks, we can help to make this tool much better and much suitable for your testing needs. So your contribution is wanted. Android Test Station is also available in AOSP. Do help us to make this test station a lot better by contributing your CLs in the AOSP. If you have more questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We want to thank you again for attending this training session. At the end of this session, we do have a survey. We kindly ask you to help filling out. With a survey, you can now actually give us a lot more feedbacks and suggestions on how we can further improve. So thank you very much.